This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Friday, April 10th, 2026, and it is Yom Shishi, 6th day of the week. It is the 23rd day of Nisan. 5786, the Parsha of the week is Shmini, and the Daf Yomi today is Menachot 89. And Menachot 89, yeah. Okay. This is a lunar and solar calendar that accounts for 90 days or 3 months, and it's used 4 times a year for a lunar and a solar calendar. And the new innovation of this is a gematriatic thought calendar. And on this calendar, on the lunar version, meaning the Hebrew calendar, it's the 23rd day of Nisan, so it would be, we finished this whole counting, and we're on in this invisible line here. We're actually we came to the last box on the 20th, and now the 23rd of Nisan would be in what's known as T3, which is 10-day twilight 3. So T1 is 10-day twilight 1, T2, T3, up until T10 or T11, depending on how many days per month. A Hebrew month doesn't have more than 30 days, but a Gregorian month does have 31 days. Sometimes 30, and once in a while 28 in February. But depending on the dispensation, meaning this dispensation is where you start the count from. And now we're in dispensation 3, and we're actually finishing dispensation 3, which started 2 years ago. It was a halving. It was 2012 was the first dispensation, and that dispensation lasted for 8 years. And in that 8-year period, the count started from a mutable month. If you're interested in learning about mutable, fixed, and cardinal months in astrology, you can look them up online. Just do cardinal, fixed, mutable months astrology, and you'll find out all about that. But for now, I'll just explain where those months start from. For 8 years, it started from a mutable. It went mutable, cardinal, fixed, and then it halved. The year 2020, which was when Corona came in the spring, around March 14th, I think was I would say the definitive date that Corona started. It shifted. I think the shift was starting, but the shift didn't actually officially get implemented until March 24th. I would say March 24th of 2020 would be the day that I remember the major shift happening. And then it shifted. After 8 years, it halved to a 4-year period in which the starting point was cardinal, like you might think that it should start from. It should start cardinal, fixed, mutable. That would be intuitive. That would be logical or reasonable. That dispensation lasted for 4 years. It lasted until May of 2024. In May of 2024, meaning after Passover and the Omer time of 2024, we would start the third dispensation. And the third dispensation is where it starts from a fixed. It goes fixed, mutable, and then cardinal. And when in that order for 2 years. And now we're finishing that 2-year period. That's the 842 of this calendar, and that's the only amount of months you can have. There's only 12 months in a year, and there's only 3 different versions of the 3 months. Just start with each one, and that's it. So we're done. We're done, but we're not done. We're done, sort of. Basically, after 14 years of this calendar, which came about in 2012, 842, now it has to half again. But And as you can guess, the next dispensation is called 1, because it's always halving. 8 years, then 4 years, then 2 years. And now we're entering dispensation X, which is the 4th dispensation. And as you can guess, the next dispensation after that will be dispensation Z, which would be 6 months. And then, if really I wanted to get ambitious, I could say that it went dispensation something else, and then it would be 3 months, and then the next dispensation would be 1 month, and the next dispensation would be half a month. And I might do that. That might be interesting to do. But each dispensation has its own theme. Like when I was for 8 whole years, imagine thinking in one way for 8 years, and then shifting, and then for 4 years operating in a set way, and then changing that in 2 years operating in a certain way, and now I'm going to 1 year. This next year, I still haven't decided what the theme is because we've used up all our starting points. So now what? Now what? How do you use the calendar? Where do you start it from? What's the date? So I don't know. I don't have an exact plan. I had an idea of rolling the dice, letting fate decide where the starting point would be. So they basically, in dispensation X, there's no starting point per se. The dice will determine. In fact, let me get a special dice. I don't know if you've seen this one before, but it's from a game that you play. It's like a little a thing with a, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you move along the path. It's like a sheet, like a plastic sheet, or like it's cloth, but and you put your pieces on it, and when you roll the dice, then I forgot how to play the game, but this is the dice right here. This is a 12 numbered dice. It's 1, 2, you see up until 12. And this, unbeknownst to me at the time, this is perfect for this because they're 12 months. That means if I roll the dice, this is how I think dispensation X would go. But the question is, do I do this every day? Do I have the wherewithal to do this and record it every day? I don't think I'm about to do that. I'm just saying this will be whenever I do it. Once in a while, I'm sure I'll make a video, but I'll give the numbers maybe once a week. But every day, I don't know. So then I roll a dice, and I get a 8. That means we're in dispensation 3. Why? Because 2, 5, 8, 11. That's all dispensation 3. That's the starting point. If you get an 8, if I got a 5, if I got a 2, or if I got an 11, then that means that's a fixed month. Those are all fixed months. So like the second month is February, it's Aquarius, it's fixed. The 5th month is May, right? It's May, it's Taurus, it's a fixed month. And then the 8th month is August, which is Leo, fixed month. And then 11 would be November, which is Scorpio, which is a fixed month, right? So then I would start from the fixed month, and then we'd be in dispensation 3. We start from the middle. Fixed is the middle month, and you're starting from so I'll roll again. What do I get? I got a 1. That means we're in dispensation 2. So then you'd go with the cardinal months. Look, 1 is April, which is Aries, which is cardinal. 4 is July, which is Cancer, which is cardinal. 7 is October, right? Wait a minute. I was doing the Jewish thing. Okay. This doesn't make a difference. I'll do the Gregorian again. For one is, I was doing one. See, that's what happens when you get mixed up with the Jewish thing so much. One is Nisan. It doesn't matter because one is January. It's still a cardinal. It doesn't matter if you do the English or the Hebrew. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same. So let's say I do one. I said one was April. But really what I meant was one was Nisan. And Nisan happens to be April. So I conflated Nisan and April together. But it still wasn't wrong because any one of those 1, 4, 7, 10 is always going to be cardinal. That would be dispensation 2. And then you start from here and then you look at what the date is accordingly. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next phase for the next year. That's what's going to be the mind frame. I might do it just a couple times a month. Maybe I'll do it every day. I don't know. But anyway, let's just finish up. And that's I think, the next thing for Dispensation X. But for now, let's see. By the way, that dice I bought in Dispensation 3. But for now, let's just, we're finished. Let's savor or enjoy or appreciate how much of time left we have with Dispensation 3. And because this is the last time that it will be a set thing. And for the past 14 years, I always knew where I was on the calendar based on the dispensation. But now that won't be anymore. It won't be like in ER time. It won't be a set thing. It will be, how do you see it? Was it dispensation 1? Was it 2? Was it 3? So, like, for example, let's go back in those years, 2012, 2013, 2014. I'm remembering the feeling of that time, and these numbers really can bring me back into the feeling. And so this would be this starting point. Let's just say, I'll take 2015 for example. Right? I was going to, I was taking a bus. I was living, let's say, in West Hollywood. I was taking a bus down Sunset, walking up Highland, taking a train to over there to North Hollywood Station, and a bus to Victory and Lancashire, right? And then a bus down Victory to Victory in Coldwater, and then our office was there for a while, Spice Company, and this is a very interesting time. And during that time, I was very into this calendar back then too. This is like 11 years ago. But then I was counting these weeks. Each one of these weeks, I would have a different coffee store that I would go to, different coffee shop. Like, for example, if it was the first week, I would go to the coffee shop, the Coffee Bean on Sunset and Horn, which is Coffee Bean 181. And I would go every morning, I would go there for work for 8 days. That would be that place. Then the next week would come. So let's just say it was Kislev, okay, the winter Hanukkah time of 2015. Okay, I was living in West Hollywood, and I took the bus to North Hollywood. A couple of buses. It was a big journey, but basically the idea was I would go into the coffee shop, and then it would be like, let's just say it was Kislev 1. This would be Kislev. This first week, this was Kislev 1, 2, 3, 4. And Hanukkah would be right here. It's a whole different, all these numbers, they really take you into the feeling, into the energy of that time is a whole different thing. It's completely different when you see Kislev over here. That's why it's a quantum gematriatic thought calendar. Unbelievable. And then the next week, let's say this was Kislev 1. And I would, have these different things in the house where I lived. I would put things different ways, and I would shift each week backwards and forwards depending on if it was an intuitive week or a counterintuitive week. It was a whole different thing, whole different energy. But you can harness that energy through the configurations, through the dispensations. You know what I'm saying? So basically, for 1 week I went to Coffee Bean 181, and then in the next week, let's just say for 8 days, I would go to Coffee Bean 5775 on Hollywood Boulevard near Las Palmas. Las Palmas, maybe the corner there. McAdam, Las Palmas, I think Las Palmas. The Starbucks there is 5775. At least how I remember it. Which is interesting because that equals 2015. That was the year 57. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was 5775. It was. Anyway, I went there for a week. Then, the third week here, I didn't get my coffee until I got to North Hollywood Station. There's a Coffee Bean there. It's Coffee Bean, the one on, it's not there anymore. But, at least last time I went there, it was gone. But it was the Coffee Bean 192 on Magnolia and Lancashire. I mean, it's on Magnolia. The corner was it was near Panera Bread. Panera Bread was on the corner. That maybe got by now too. So the Coffee Bean, I went there for a week. Then, after that Coffee Bean, I went, the final one that finished the whole thing was the Coffee Bean on the corner, Starbucks, I'm sorry. It went Coffee Bean, Starbucks, Coffee Bean, Starbucks. See how symmetrical that is? Perfectly in order. Intuitive, counterintuitive. Intuitive, counterintuitive. Do you see how deep that is? You're learning mathematics and systems and orders just within your daily coffee. That's how I lived. That was a very fun way of living for me. And I still live that way to a great extent. I had restaurants you go to. On this day, you go here. On this day, you go here. On this day, it was very fun. That really was my whole life. That's what kept things very interesting and exciting and wonderful. And I have that to some extent now, not as much because there's not that many restaurants around where I live that are so. So I still have like maybe one or two places I go to. But anyway, the fourth one, went to the Starbucks on the corner of, may not be there, but in Armenian territory there. Victory and Coldwater, there's a Starbucks in the corner there, and that's where our office was across the street back then. And I went there for a whole 8 days. Not a week. When I say a week, I meant 8 days. Each one of these weeks are 8 days. Okay? So, that was dispensation 1, the first dispensation. And that dispensation lasted for 8 whole years. 2012 up until 2020. 8 years. 8 years, folks. And then Corona came and changed. Well, this time is going, so I'll just cut it short now. But just to give you a feel about these dispensations, okay, and how it's rapidly coming to a close. So it's kind of exciting. It's a little bit feeling like how should you say it? How should I say it? It's like when you're graduating high school and you're off to going to college or yeshiva, wherever you're going to, and you're about to see the world. Either you're going to Israel after high school, or going to college, or who knows? Maybe you're traveling for a year. It's that feeling of it's really entering a new thing. And that's where we're at right now. That's how I feel. So we went through the 8 years, we went through the 4 years, we went through the 2 years, and now it's a matter of 1 year, a half a year, and I'm not sure if so that would be a 5, a half a year. Maybe we could do 2 more dispensations, then 3 months, and then 1 month. That might be interesting to do, but we'll see. We'll take it a step at a time. But it's basically done in terms of the months. And so let's get back to the number for today. 3. Today Twilight 3 is over here. Yeah, and wow. Just got a picture of that Starbucks on over there on Vermont in Wilshire. Right by the train station, another one. These memories coming back. These were my places, my hubs, my hangout places where I really created all of this cookery, all this creation happened there over so many years. Please let this be something. Not just a fun thing for me. But anyway, the solar day is April 10th. So April 10th is going to be in box 35, in dispensation 3 that is. And T3, because it's Nissan 23, so 3 plus 35 is 38. And the numerical value of 38 is 149. Which equals William Lane Craig. It also equals Crown Heights, it also equals Strawberry, and it also equals Beverly Hills, which I used to wear a blue cap that said Beverly Hills on it. That equals 149. So I'm thinking, like, how is Beverly Hills comparable to Crown Heights? But I'll leave that for you, the viewer, to decide. Shabbat Shalom.